What's up, everybody? We're basically doing this in real time. The eclipse is at 3:02 a.m. over here, PST. Yep. Yeah. Wow. So what's up, everybody? So I'm gonna do an astro talk for all 12 signs. We'll go through the rising signs where this eclipse is happening. I'm gonna do the astrology one separately from the tarot this week to just try and save time. So yeah, we're basically doing it real time right now. I mean, it's what's up? Happy eclipse. Happy eclipse. Wow. So here we are. It's intense. It's intense, fam. It's like storming outside. It's so intense. It's just like chaos. It's awesome. So yeah, this is kind of a big deal of an eclipse. It occurs at 16 degrees Taurus. I'm going to show you guys. I'll screenshot this, but here's what it looks like. I don't know if you can see that. This is what it looks like. The chart for 3:02 a.m. It's interesting to look at it. Collectively speaking, like what it's saying, it's interesting. The rising sign of the eclipse is 19 degrees Libra. That's actually a really hard-working degree of Libra. Yeah, so this is intense. Where to begin? I just gotta like get settled in. I'm like, fuck it, we're gonna do it. We're going live. It's like real time, basically. The eclipse is at 3:02 a.m. So here we are, fam. Here's what the aspects. Very interesting stuff going on here. So this is right on top of the Saturn Uranus square, and we've been under that awkward, that awkward aspect for a while now. It's a huge upward push towards essentially radical change at a foundational level and a process. It's basically, this eclipse represents an apex point in a series of a fractal of apex points. So continuous evolution, basically motioning towards fruitfulness, fecundity, stability, in certain situations here. So it's kind of a big deal. It represents some breakthrough moments as well. A lot of this math, when we look at it, yeah, I mean, just the way that it sits on top of the Saturn-Uranus square like that, square Saturn conjunct Uranus, very, very tight orb, exact, perfected. I mean, this is breakthrough moments. So a lot of it is a refocusing of energy and basically asking ourselves, where are we in our own way in certain regards, as far as, reaching a point of stability or fruitfulness that we collectively and individually desire here. Yeah, kind of a big deal. It's actually awkward doing this like right now. I'm like, it's happening right now. It's weird. It's gonna happen at 3:02, so it will probably be streaming. Maybe I'm gonna try and blow through the rising signs really quickly here. But yeah, there's basically a breakthrough point happening here. It's kind of an apex point, and we have Mars retrograde, so something has to be reevaluated, reassessed, and maybe something is being dropped as well to make room for something else. There's a lot of ways that this can play out. It's going to be different for absolutely everyone, but huge process. And this is kind of a breaking point of the Saturn-Uranus square, so things will get a little bit easier as the weeks go on going forward, because the intensity of that is it's intense. The pressure is for real. So yeah, I want to start with Aries rising. So Aries rising, you're experiencing this eclipse in your second house of finances, earned income, your self-esteem, your self-worth, your values. This is like your ethics and money sector. It also can preside over intimacy as well. like sharing with others, merging with others, and also being self-sufficient. So there could be a huge emphasis here on self-sufficiency, your values, defining your values, your ethics, the ethics of desire, essentially. This is a really karmic eclipse overall for everyone, but this is where it's, kind of naturally expresses its energy very well, is in the second house. Taurus. So yeah, renegotiating terms here, kind of redefining even your values, and with Jupiter backing into your 12th house, also releasing any sort of fears, like worst case scenarios, that kind of thing, fears of like dealing with others, and mistrust, and just a general fearfulness there for Aries rising. A huge reevaluation though, like really standing in yourself and defining yourself and what you will and won't do, going forward, or how you deal with others. Huge redefinition of finances. There can be, sort of breakthroughs around money, making money, and even just your value system as a whole. So second 8th house axis for Aries rising. Moving on to Taurus. Taurus, this is your first house of identity. This is a huge breakthrough in how you deal with others as well. Very similar to Aries, but in a much more pronounced way. This is kind of like you and others, and coming to better terms, renegotiating terms here, and starting fresh, starting over at 0 at an identity level in what how you come across to others, how you deal with others. Huge kind of revolutions and breakthroughs around the center of self here. And Mars rolling through your second, this can represent like certain desires, attachments, or things that were not benefiting you, like being dropped in your second house. So yeah, huge for Taurus. Taurus is going through some massive changes here. Gemini, you're hosting the Gemini rising. You're hosting this in your 12th house of release, endings, healing, recovery, rest. This is kind of like your healing sector, your rest and recovery, and your work, 6th house. So, finding a balance between work and rest, and, completely redefining something. Some of you are processing some endings as well, some letting go in one way or another. This is also recovery. This can be epiphanies, psychological breakthroughs, and maybe, taking a time out from certain things and activities that, it's basically just a balance in this area. A lot of releasing, a lot of letting go, and striking a balance between your routine sector. This can be that's a stressful place to host an eclipse, I would say. The 12th house, a lot of fears can come up, or a lot of needing to say goodbye to certain things. This eclipse does kind of coincide with certain reality checks for a lot of people here. But yeah, the 12th house that's an intense place to host it, and you've got Mars retro in your own sign. So this is huge changes at a core identity level as well. I want to actually look at the charts as I go through this. So let me see. We're going to be doing, we just did Gemini. I want to do Cancer next. There you are, Cancer. Wow. Yeah. So Cancer rising, you're hosting this full moon eclipse in your 11th house. This is your social sector, networking, groups you belong to, like-minded weirdos, versus your 5th house. This is creativity, creative expression, dating, kids, fun. This sector is very social. It's where we meet people. It's kind of where we mingle. This can be group projects. This can be a new sense of community. Some of you are making some radical changes here, or having breakthroughs around your friendships or your goals. And this is also around gains as well. This is the house of gains, the 11th house, Cancer. So huge breakthroughs around maybe future goals, groups you belong to. Some of you may even be like meeting someone that's really striking and, you know, you're like very into, because you have this whole stellium of Scorpio planets in your 5th house. So some of you are feeling very intensely around dating, love, you know, and the like. So, wow, huge breakthroughs in this sector. And also kids as well. Kids, 5th house is children, you know, it's love interests, it's our creative projects, it's creative expression. So you're hosting the stellium of Scorpio there. So this eclipse is, you know, it's creating a lot of change in these areas for you. Your overall goals, the communities you belong to, people that you're meeting, and the like. So that's Cancer. I want to move on to, we're going to go to Leo. I got to change the time to see. I like to see the chart. So Leo rising, you're hosting this in your 10th house of reputation, career, mastery, milestones, even. So you can be achieving some milestones, Leo rising. Like this is, this can be very public for some of you, very public. You could be getting recognition, or you could be having realizations around long-term goals, mastery, recognition, VIPs, authority figures, bosses, and the like, or just you know, achievements in general. This is our goals. This is like 10th house is like the boss daddy house. So this is, you're definitely experiencing some huge changes on a very foundational level as well. Like some of you can be, there could be something going on like family, you know, involving family, or your foundations, your home. A lot of focus on that with the Scorpio stellium in your 4th. So major focus on something coming to a close here as well. This is a 10th house. So this is an achievement. This is a milestone. This is something coming full circle. This is the house of Saturn traditionally. So there can be a lot of pressure in this area, but also a lot of breakthroughs, a lot of changes as well. I mean, ultimately, all of these changes are there's a liberating quality to a lot of the changes that are occurring under the eclipse. It sort of sets people free. It allows them to sort of organically release, organically dissolve what isn't viable, you know, what isn't viable, what's not working. So Leo rising, you're hosting, this is, you know, your 10th house. So some of you could be rethinking future goals. Others of you are literally wrapping something up in order to do something completely different in this area, possibly involving career, you know, recognition, things you're known for, your achievements, milestones. So let's move on to Virgo. I'm going to blow through these really quickly. I want to get to the tarot. I'm like excited actually to get to the tarot part. So Virgo, whoops. Now we're on, okay, we're going full circle. Hold up. Okay, there's a Libra rising. There we go. Yeah. Boom. All right. Virgo rising. So you're hosting this in your 9th house of higher learning, people and places at a distance, freedom, adventure, travel, philosophy, beliefs, your ideologies. This is a huge breakthrough in this area. This is the axis of the mind, Virgo rising. So this can involve writing, teaching, learning. It can involve courses. It can involve people and places at a distance, travel. There's a lot of breakthroughs happening here. I mean, some of you are just coming up with all kinds of ideas as well. This is a very expansive house. There's a lot of ideas here are born, and, you know, it's experimental, you know, it's expanding your horizons. Some of you are wanting to branch out more, or, you know, maybe even travel or have people come visit you from faraway places. This is our learning and cultural access, essentially. It's kind of it's very a cerebral axis. The mind can be very, very activated here. Whole lot of ideas and breakthroughs happening on this axis. This is, you know, it rules over writing, speaking, teaching, travel, broad-mindedness. So major, if I would say for Virgo rising, this is a huge learning curve for sure. Major learning curves, breakthroughs in gnosis, breakthroughs in knowledge, huge interest in learning, very curious. It's a very curious axis for Virgo. Yeah, and I mean Mars rolling through Virgo rising's 10th house. I mean this could change career directions for you. This could involve like an overall ambition, a goal that you have in mind, kind of a climb up the hill. Some of you are going to be you're releasing anything that's not viable that won't go the distance here. 10th and your 10th, your career, your larger goals overall. So let's move on to Libra. Libra is, Libra rising, the eclipse, the time that it happens is literally, that's where, it's in your rising sign, Libra. So the actual chart, the study is really interesting on a collective level. I kind of wish I went a little more into that, but I'm winging it, you guys. I didn't really plan for this at all. I'm just like, I'm going to do an Astro talk and I'm all disoriented. We're doing it in real time. So I'm like feeling it. So Libra rising, this is your, wow, we got this huge stellium in your second house. Some of you are actually experiencing really interesting eclipse. This is in your 8th house of deep, intimate, merging soul contracts. It's very karmic axis, much like Aries rising. This is a reevaluation of connections, of intimacy. You could be having epiphanies around this time about, very deep, intimate matters, sexuality, secrets, deep, intimate bonds here. Some of you are actually even, merging forces with someone right now at these eclipses. You may have met someone, spontaneously, or there's a huge breakthrough happening in this area. You're going to experience it differently, each and every one of you. But yeah, Libra rising, I mean, this is huge. This is it's very like tantric. It's a very karmic axis. So this involves intimacy. It involves, equal, the give and take between others, which is very interesting because this eclipse, the degree it falls, in Taurus is ruled by the 6 of Pentacles, which is about equal give and take, equal exchange. So huge breakthroughs and revolutions happening for Libra. You guys are Libra rising. You're definitely reaching some sort of apex point here regarding intimacy, shared bank accounts, shared resources, and the like. And so just swap and spit, sex, secrets. Some of y'all are like, you're merging with others. You're merging with somebody, in some way here. Let's look at Scorpio rising. Gotta keep it moving. Okay, Scorpio gang. This is your 7th house of partnerships, significant partnerships, significant others. This can be any relationship, really, friends to business partners to, love. But there's a huge breakthrough in this area. There's a kind of a liberating quality to this eclipse. And for Scorpio, this can regard like being more authentically comfortable, becoming more authentically comfortable within your relationships, by just kind of embracing your own needs. And, you may be definitely experiencing some interesting experiences. There can be increased self-reliance accented right now for Scorp rising. I mean, you have an entire stellium, currently in your 1st house, Scorpio rising. So this is really accenting the self and having breakthroughs around what's comfortable for you, partnership wise, dealing with others. Like, what are you willing to, deal with? What are you no longer willing to deal with? That sort of thing. So very defining moment here in regards to you versus the world. Breakthroughs happening here. Very interesting time for Scorpio rising. Let's move on to Sagittarius rising. Sagittarius rising, you're hosting this in, wow, we have this huge stellium lighting up Sagittarius rising's 12th house. So this is secrets. This is deep desires for right now being highlighted. This is a lot of intense feelings. possibly a lot of repressed emotion coming up or being accented for Sagittarius rising. You could be definitely having some breakthroughs in regards to your work, your everyday life, the services you provide others. This could involve a job, something you do routine, or health matters as well can be a primary focus here. This is huge breakthroughs in creating a routine for yourself that works for you, that really, really works for you. And, you know, this could be healing breakthroughs even for some of you, but this is a huge reestablishment of your everyday life. You could be processing a lot of endings as well, doing a lot of releasing. There could be a lot submerged here. This is a lot of private intensity, packed into the Sagittarius rising chart. Some of you, this can involve a number of different things, possibly even secret love for some of you, with Venus in the 12th here accented. But huge breakthroughs in revamping your routine to create a space for yourself in which you can comfortably process certain emotions or situations that may be perhaps even a little bit complicated, complex. And this is a desire to radically simplify your life so that you can better process these things and sort of reform, be reborn. So very healing. This is your healing axis, Sagittarius rising. Let's move on to Capricorn rising. What do we have here? 9:02 a.m. Nope. 10. Yeah. All right. There we go. Go gang. So Capricorn rising, you're hosting this eclipse in your 5th house. This is lovers. This is having fun. This is making room for more joy in your life. You could be having sort of breakthroughs or epiphanies around love interests or your desire to party, your desire for fun, play. It opposes the stellium in Scorpio in your 11th house of friendships, groups you're part of, gains as well. So this is an interesting one for Goat Gang rising because we do have Mars retrograde, rolling through your 6th. And this eclipse it highlights having more fun, being able to enjoy yourself more, express yourself more, becoming like happy, essentially. Like this is love interest, this is creative endeavors, creative projects, parties, children, just essentially overall having fun. It's very much a bliss sector, and you could be definitely having some breakthroughs in the area regarding romance, relationships, just for your sense of fun, essentially, creativity. This is a huge desire for more fun, for more room, for more play in your life, and to make room for your heart space, things that actually bring you enjoyment. So you could be making some decisions in your work life with Mars rolling through your 6th. Some of you are thinking about doing something for a living that you actually enjoy, and maybe that's a focus. Others of you are making some major adjustments to your routine in order to accommodate more room for joy, play, love, and things that are fun, and yeah, you could also be the huge breakthroughs here involving groups, where you are in relation to groups, meeting people, and time management as well. Time management, managing your routines. You could be dropping things that just no longer serve you with Mars rolling through your 6th house retrograde here. So big breakthroughs around 5th house matters for Goat Gang. An apex is being reached here, and this could be basically surrounding how to formulate maybe a long-term routine that allows you to have more balance in your life and to make more room for something enjoyable. So let's move on to Aquarius rising. Where are we at? Aquarius, where are you at? What time? What time is it? That's Leo. All right, I gotta go backwards, fam. I'm like changing the chart by like altering the time. Okay, so where is it? I don't need to see the chart. Like, why am I still looking for it? All right, Aquarius. Sorry, you guys. I'm pretty out of it. There's Pisces. All right, so Aquarius, you're right there. Boom. Took long enough. Thanks for being patient for me, you guys. So yeah, Aquarius, you're hosting this in your 4th house. This is your foundations. You're having you could be having emotional breakthroughs for some of you. Maybe family breakthroughs around your foundations, what and who makes you feel safe, and going after, your desires as well, feeling safe to go after your desires. With Mars rolling retrograde in your 5th, you could be making some sacrifices or cutting something out that either no longer brings you joy or doesn't feel viable to you, and maybe making some cuts or making some realistic decisions in the 5th house area with Mars there. But this is a huge focus on safety, security. This is breakthroughs in your emotional sector, your sector of the past, of attachments, comfort, all of that. This is a huge focus on your foundations with, your overall, in terms of your overall goals as well, with the stellium of Scorpio rolling through your 10th. So major breakthroughs in this area. This is an apex point in your foundation area. This could even include just changes at a foundational level, essentially making huge changes at a foundational level and making sure that things are viable long term, or have will support you going forward. Will actually be there, will actually support you. You have an interesting chart, and just looking at everything, these are you guys, Aquarius rising, you guys have Pluto in your 12th. That's an intense transit. You guys are going to be ending that, and you're going to have Pluto in your 1st. So this is huge changes spiritually, psychologically, major, deep inner work with Pluto having rolled through your 12th house for so long. But wow, yeah, this is an intense chart. So there's a focus here on your security, your foundations, home and attachment, major breakthroughs emotionally and at a foundational level for Aquarius. Let's go to Pisces. Here you are, Pisces. Wow. So for Pisces rising, you're hosting this full moon eclipse at the sector of the mind in your 3rd house of communications. So this is also a very busy house as well. It's, productivity, it's mental acuity, it's, very busy, it's very communicative, but it's also really good at getting things done. It's a mercurial house. So this can be a kind of nervous energy for some of you. You could feel a little bit rattled here, Pisces rising, just based maybe on the soul amount of chaos that you have to consolidate for some of you, because the 3rd house is our everyday environment. It's our front porch, it's siblings, it's neighbors, it's errands, it's to-do lists and things like that. So this is some major breakthroughs, in your mind. This is a very mental axis, and so it can be nervous, and somewhat unsettling, but something can be jarring you into more dynamic action here for some of you. It's very busy, there can be a sort of busyness about this that can feel sort of stressful even for some of you. There can be a lot of pressure on, the 9th house, Scorpio, your 9th house being ruled by Scorpio. 9th house is like law, it's legal dealings, it's also people and places from other cultures, it's learning institutions, churches and organizations and, college and all of that. So this is your teaching axis, your law axis, your moral axis, your thinking and learning axis. So there could be a lot to take in here, a lot to absorb. And, you know, it's tough because it's making awkward angles to both Saturn, which is in your 12th house, Pisces rising, and Uranus, which is in your 3rd. This is very mentally jarring energy. It can feel stressful. Like some of you can feel a bit weighed down with these aspects because, yeah, Saturn is very draining, you know, in the 12th house. And it's just like this weight of, it's like an albatross. It's a bit of an albatross energy here. And it can be making you feel a bit nervous, but this is all motivating you to eventual action. Try to, you know, just take care of things one step at a time, break things down into small, you know, chewable bite-sized chunks and just handle things as you go. Don't try to overwhelm yourself about, I've got to do this and I've got to do this. Like, definitely there's some breaking points, breakthroughs. This is an apex, and Mars rolling retrograde in your 4th, Pisces rising. This is your home. This is your foundations. This is there's a lot going on here. And with Mars retrograde here in this area, there's maybe some cuts that need to be made, or, you know, a sort of downsizing effort to simplify. We can't live in 2 worlds or 2 realms at the same time. So a lot going on here in the home and in regards to your emotions and your foundations. It's heavy stuff, Pisces. So be kind to yourself if you have Pisces rising at this eclipse, and just try and, you know, try to organize your thoughts as much as you can, because this can feel a bit, it's like chaotic, you know, it's very chaotic. There can be a lot to do, or you feel like there's a lot on your plate but maybe minimal energy to like do it all. Just make sure to keep yourself calm and just stay rational and just take it, I think, step by step, you know. Don't overwhelm yourself, but there's a lot to do here, and this is kind of bringing to light everything, what you've gotten done now, like thus far, things that you've accomplished thus far, and what is left to be done to finally reach a point of stability, you know, and fecundity and fruitfulness for yourself. So this could be kind of, you know, very overwhelming for Pisces rising. It's an overwhelming eclipse for absolutely everyone. I feel like I didn't really even do it justice, but wow, you know, I just kind of spontaneously got on here. And anyways, I hope you guys got something out of this. Like, it was kind of just experimental, just get on here, just Astro talk. I was a little bit nervous myself. But yeah, I've got Mars retrograde in my 6th house. So it's like, yeah, it's been a whole lot of changes in that area for me. Thanks for joining me. Thank you so much for tuning in, everybody. And I will be throwing down tarot next. I'm going to be doing that separate, just to, you know, save time essentially, and just be able to go through all the signs, refer everybody to the Astro talk to look at their rising signs. I will probably, I'll try and timestamp, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But thank you so much. Thanks for everyone that smashed the like button. I'll see you in the next one. Deuces.